Here's day 3. I'm setting the precedent now of recording on my phone because there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to record on a camera with a nice setup every single day. I'm sure I'll be at random places at random times of night in the future at some point. And so if I'm really going to keep this up, I need to record on my phone. Hopefully it doesn't sound too trashy, but it does record in 4K. So perks of having a nice phone. I got about 9 hours of sleep last night, woke up at 7:30-ish, went to bed at like 10:30. Today I learned the value of mentors and not knowing what you don't know. So I accidentally stumbled across a course on starting consulting agencies, which just so happens to be exactly what I was doing anyway, and started going through it. And this may be the most valuable online course, and it's completely free. If you've heard of it, again, nobody's probably seeing this right now when I'm recording this, and so it's probably either all irrelevant by now or it's already super popular. It's Charlie Morgan's course, so super value packed. It talks about all the basics of business, which, I mean, I know the basics of like starting the business, but it talks about like mindset shifts, which is something that I could use for sure. But definitely learn the value of frameworks, and it's hard to know what you don't know. And so a lot of the things that are presented in this is just ways of thinking and ways of performing things. Like he uses a lot of like scientific stuff, which is interesting for an entrepreneur. But I noticed that every really successful person has their own take or framework or strategy, and it's like bulletproof. And that's how they see the world, but that's also how they see their business, and that's why they're so successful. It's like everybody has their own, I guess, philosophy on life. And I think that what separates the people from like who are rich from like super rich, like the rich guys, is just copying a philosophy versus having your own. I guess like that's one common theme, is you can copy your way to being rich and like making a couple $1 million, but to be like one of the greats, you have to be someone who people copy. You can't be the copier. Now you can copy people to get there, but like once you're there, you need to branch off on your own and be original, because that's how you become one of the greats. And also the value of being persistent, because I feel like for a long time I've always wanted to be near somebody who wanted to do what I want to do and start a business and be successful and like make a difference, because I don't think that people make a difference in day-to-day life. Like my mom works a regular 9 to 5 in a hospital, and she helps people, and that makes a difference because there's old people who need somebody to count on or just want to talk to somebody, and that changes their lives. But I was always one of those people that wasn't thinking on like a scale of I want to help one person, 2 people a day. I want to have enough money to be able to fund me helping hundreds or thousands or millions even of people. And I think the biggest thing that helps people is information. Like you don't know what you don't know. And so if I can spread the information that they need to be successful, and then look at like the chain reaction of that, like if I help 1,000 people become successful and those 1,000 people help 100 people each, the chain effect of what I've done is like the most powerful thing ever. But all of that to say, I don't really know anybody that's like really on the path that I'm going on. I have a pretty good friend, he's my neighbor, he's like running his own business, but it's a bit different. So he's filming for people, and so he's like kind of doing his own thing. It's like, I suppose it's like done for you. It's kind of like an agency, but he doesn't really have like a super built out business. Like it's kind of like freelancing, and I'm sure he'll scale at some point, but he's the only person I know that's trying to run a business. And I've always tried to tell like my friends that we got to do it, but none of them seem to like think the way that I do. But what I'm learning is the power of persistence. Of you tell them one time like, hey, like you should try this, just because like some people it's built for, some people it's not. But if you stop nudging them, then you kind of lose out on that. So like, for example, if you have really close friends but you feel like you don't fit in with them, like why don't you keep nudging them? Like you tell them once, oh, we should do this, and they're like, oh yeah, and then they don't do it. It's like, yeah, because maybe they're not built for it, but also maybe you just haven't asked enough times. It kind of reminds me of if you're doing outreach and you email or message or whatever, call somebody one time, it's just follow-ups. Like that's the whole psychology behind it. You call them once and they say no, you're like, oh damn it, and then you move on. It's like, what are you doing? It's like follow-up. You tell your friends one time, oh, we should do this, because you don't want to be there alone. You want people who you love to be there with you. Like you don't want to lose your friends, and I get that. That's like completely valid. But if you keep, of course, like again and again pitching and they don't want to, maybe they're just not built for it, and that's okay. They can still be your friends. Like You don't have to have like a perfect friend. Each friend serves a different purpose. But I think the value of being persistent, as if your friends are clients, like you're trying to really sell them on this idea of the boys getting rich. And I think that that's a cool idea. It might never come true, but like I can dream. But I think the value of persistence in both business and relationships is a lesson of the day. You follow up people, and one thing I learned today is like how much you should follow up. Like maybe not once or twice, maybe like 8 or 9 times. And don't be an asshole or be annoying about it. Like be genuine, like be funny, send gifts and memes. And that's straight, I stole that like straight from a video I saw. And it's like, it's so cool because you don't think of just being a regular human being. But yeah, just being persistent when you're trying to get business, it sets you apart. And then of course, if you're trying to help people, being persistent with that too, because a lot of people, they need your help, but they don't want your help because it's a pride problem or it's an information problem. Like they just don't have all the information they need to be able to commit or believe that you're actually trying to help them. And so it goes for pretty much anything where you're trying to give to people. Is sometimes you got to keep going. Like if you're like, hey, I can really help you, or like you're trying to help your friends with like, look, I figured out this way to make money and it's like a really good way, and they're like, yeah, okay, and then they just don't do anything. It's because it's like you're giving them and they don't always want it. One, because they don't understand it, they don't know, or two, because they're too prideful, they want to do it on their own, which is me. I'm an asshole. Like I like to do things on my own. I'm stubborn like that. I want the credibility for myself, which is probably a character flaw as well. But I think, yeah, that'll be the lesson for the day. I don't really have much else to say. Today was a pretty good day. I just learned all day. That was pretty much all I did. I feel good. 9 hours of sleep. I would rate the day at a 7.3. Not a 10 because I'm not where I want to be. I did not go to the gym. Damn it. I didn't go to the gym, so we're going to have to deduct points for that. Like a 6 point. No, it's not a 6. We'll stick with 7.3. I forgot to go to the gym today. It's okay. But yeah, that's lessons for the day. Be persistent, both in business and in relationships, whenever you're trying to give. So if you're trying to get clients, be persistent, follow up, be a real person. And if you're trying to convince someone of something, be persistent with it, because persistence, one, can annoy people, but two, that annoyance, even if it's the way that you do it, if you're genuinely trying to help people and you're persistent about it, you might piss them off, but then they eventually will give you a chance. And if you can genuinely help them, then they will thank you in the end. That's it. Bye.